here. So all you're going to do is just loosen it just a bit. Tilt that head down just a little bit, and now for the rest of the night you should be golden. Yep.
So then people don't have to watch it like this.
Correct.
Yeah, so when I set the tripod up, I just need to set it up so it's right. I didn't know where it was.
And no matter what, even if the legs are kind of kitty-wampus, that should still center it out, I believe.
Okay. And how do you do that? This one?
Yep. So you can loosen it just like this, and then you've got the ability to go wherever you want, put it right in the middle, and then just get her nice and, you don't need to overdo it by any means, but
no. Hand tighten, not wrist tighten, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I'm going to sit over here. I just want to make sure I wasn't tangled with anything else.
Okay. You're good to go, all set?
Good set.
Thanks, man. Great job.
Shut this off.
I would just say, power button on this slide. Hold that power button down. And then you can just basically just flip them off.
Did I leave my sheets out there? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this PSP Network live stream broadcast of the Wilson at Minot swim duel taking place here on January 22nd. We'll be getting underway in just a moment. Be ready for the national anthem. Here's Coach Soper.
We'd like to welcome everybody to tonight's dual meeting between the coyotes and the Minot magicians. At this time, if everyone would please rise, remove any headgear, you can silence your cell phone, and we will have the national anthem sung by Senior Kellen Anderson. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we
That was senior swimmer Kellen Anderson with a very nice rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. Thank you to Kellen. Even with his microphone troubles, did a bang-up job. So we'll be getting started here with the Williston at Minot Swim Duel. Tonight's broadcast is sponsored by Premier Chiropractic, Subway, Tigers Plus, United Agronomy, Morelli's Distributing, and Planet Pizza. We'll be starting tonight's meet off with the 200-yard medley relay. We will have two heats of the medley relay. Heat 1 will have Magicians F in lane 3. In lane 4 will be Magicians D. In lane 5 is Magicians E. Participants for Magicians F in lane 3, it's Briar Samuelson with the backstroke, Jacob Height with the breaststroke, Alex Ricks, the butterfly, and David McConville with the freestyle. In lane 4, Magicians D is Tyler Sherlock swimming the backstroke. It'll be Gannon Cowper in the breaststroke, Griffin Osborne in the butterfly, and Luke Peterson in the freestyle. In the 5th lane, Magicians E, Brandon Shabbat leading off with the backstroke, Maroney Hale with the breaststroke, Jamison Donahoe, the butterfly, and Logan Greenlee with the freestyle. Once again, I'm your PSP.network host, Eric Schaefer, and I'll be with you for tonight's duel with Williston and Minot here at the Magic City Campus Pool. And I'll also be joining you tomorrow morning for the Minot Invite. We'll have Mandan, Bismarck, and Legacy here, I believe. And we will be on the air just prior to 10:30. The diving competition will start at 10:30 tomorrow morning. So if you want to tune in for a little bit of that, we will have that for you for the first half hour. Then the swimming will start at 11 o'clock, and we'll try to work our way back and forth. I believe there is a live stream dive broadcast as well. So once again, thank you for joining us at home and wherever that home may be. If you're following us on YouTube, go ahead and go to the live chat and let us know where you're watching from tonight. I know last meet I heard we had some viewers out in Hawaii, so you can join us here in North Dakota or wherever you are from or at watching the meet. The swimmers of those first 3 teams are making their way to the starting blocks now. So Planet Pizza has been proudly serving the Magic City for over 20 years. You can call them now at 852-1700. Try their Buffalo Blue Pizza or their chicken wings. You won't be disappointed. Planet Pizza, it's out of this world. Right now we're getting a nice look at the First International Bank and Trust scoreboard. We'll try and get you up to that between events so you can see some results. I'll be reading from there as well throughout the meet. These two teams met last week in a duel out in Williston. A few of the boys put up some really nice times. I know Dominic Yoder put himself at the top of the 200 individual medley state qualifiers for the state. He currently holds the top time for the backstroke as well. Alex King in a couple of races in the 200 free and the 100 free put himself near the top of the state qualifiers. Grant Schaefer still holds a spot in a few of those in the 100, 200, and the 50 freestyles. I think Alex and Grant are both in the near the top in the 500 freestyle as well. Josh Bowen is near the top in the breaststroke, and Alex King is near the top in the butterfly as well. You can find those state qualifying rankings at IndyHSAAnow.com. Now we're off. First heat of tonight's duel, the 200-yard medley relay, heat 1. In lane 3 is Magicians F. That's Briar Samuelson leading off. In lane 4, it's Tyler Sherlock with Magicians D. And in lane 5, it's another Minot team, Brandon Shabbat, out in the backstroke. This might make it a little easier for you to see. If we take our camera out the First International Bank and Trust scoreboard, now you can see the swimmers in the pool. Once again, lane 3, that's Briar Samuelson. Lane 4 is Tyler Sherlock, and lane 5 is Brandon Shabbat. Looks like Shabbat will be touching first, and they're out for the exchange. In lane 5 for the Magicians in the breaststroke is Maroney Hale. In lane 4 is Gannon Cowper, and in lane 3 is Jacob Height. Lane 4 is Gannon Cowper, and lane 5 is Maroney Hale. Those three swimmers have made their turn. They're bringing in the home stretch for their portion of this medley relay. Very nice job by Gannon Cowper. In lane 4, he'll be touching first. Into the pool, swimming the butterfly, is Griffin Osborne in lane 4. In lane 3, entering the pool now, is Alex Ricks. And in lane 5 is Jamison Donahoe. Osborne finishing up the butterfly now into the pool. In lane 4 for Minot D is Luke Peterson. And for Minot in lane 5 is Logan Greenlee. And now coming in lane 3 will be David McConville. These three swimmers will finish up the final leg of the first heat of the 200 medley relay. That's Luke Peterson finishing up in lane 4. He will touch with a team time of 2 minutes 16.53 seconds. He'll be followed by Logan Greenlee with a team time of 2 minutes 19.80 seconds. And finishing up in lane 3 is freshman David McConville. McConville will be coming in about a 2:35. As he touches, it will be 2:35.11. Here's your look at the First International Bank and Trust scoreboard for Heat 1 of the 200-yard medley relay. Heat 2 will have Magician C in lane 2. That's Carter Thomas, Will Thomas, Andrew Swartout, and Tristan Lays. In lane 3 will be Magicians B, Lawson Shanklin, followed by Ryan Hubbard, Carter Larson, and Oliver Roomgen. Lane 4 will be Magicians A, Josh Bowen, Grant Schaefer, Jackson Ranke, and Alex King. Lane 5 will be Williston A, Caleb Osborne, Hunter Hart, Tater Jones, and Ethan Babcock. And lane 6, Williston B, Nathan Hill, Bryson Gilbertson, Reese Holder, and Ryder Bjerknes. This is Heat 2 of the 200-yard medley relay. The backstrokers are in the pool. In lane 4 for Minot, that's Josh Bowen. In lane 2 for Minot's Carter Thomas. Lane 3, Lawson Shanklin. Lane 5 for Williston is Caleb Osborne. In lane 6 for Williston is Nathan Hill. Entering the pool in lane 4 for the Magicians with the breaststroke is Grant Schaefer. In the pool in lane 5 for Williston is Hunter Hart. Lane 2 for the Magicians is Will Thomas. Lane 3 is Ryan Hubbard. And lane 6 for Wilson is Bryson Gilbertson. Schaefer finishing up the breaststroke portion. He'll be touching. Now into the pool for the Minot is Jackson Ranke swimming the butterfly. Into the pool for Williston in lane 5 is Tater Jones with the butterfly. Now entering in lane 3 for the Magicians is Carter Larson. Entering in lane 2 for Minot is Andrew Swartout. And lane 6 for Williston is Reese Holder. Ranke finishing up his butterfly. Now into the pool for the freestyle is Alex King in lane 4. For Wilson entering in lane 5 will be Ethan Babcock. Entering in lane 3 for Minot is Oliver Rungan. For lane 2 in Minot is Tristan Lays. In lane 6 for Wilson is Ryder Bjerknes. King finishing up the medley relay for the Magicians with a team time of 1 minute 48.28 seconds. They'll be followed by Wilson Team A, touching with a time of 1:57.07, and Minot B at 1:58.71. Minot C at 2:01.46, followed by Williston B at 2:10.55. There's your First and National Bank and Trust scoreboard for Heat 2 of the 200-yard medley relay. Members of that winning team for the Magicians: backstroke was Josh Bowen, breaststroke was Grant Schaefer, butterfly was Jackson Ranke, and freestyle was Alex King. We're moving on to the 200-yard freestyle. There will be 4 heats of the 200-yard freestyle this afternoon. Be 3 members in Heat 1. State qualifying time is 2 minutes 5.76 seconds. Heat 1 in lane 3 for Minot will be freshman Carter Withers. In lane 4 for Minot will be sophomore Chance Thompson. And in lane 5 for Minot is freshman Brian Sherlock. Heat 1 of 4 for Event 2, the 200-yard freestyle. Lane 3 for Minot is Carter Withers. Lane 4 for Minot is Chance Thompson. And lane 5 for Minot is Brian Sherlock. Chance Thompson and Brian Sherlock are stroke for stroke through that first 50 yards. Followed by Withers in lane 2. Halfway through, Thompson and Withers continue stroke for stroke. Thompson and Sherlock continue stroke for stroke. When they touch here, they'll have 2 more laps down and back one more time. Looks like Sherlock may have a slight edge. We'll see when they get to the turn here. Sherlock touches at 1:54.24 and Thompson at 1:55.06. Sherlock now is about a half body length. Very nice turn for Brian. He's extending that lead through this 25-yard stretch. Withers now makes his touch at 212.71. Sherlock has expanded that lead to just over body length. He'll be coming in about the 232 range. That's Brian Sherlock touching in 231.60, followed by Chance Thompson in 234.65. Withers has made his last turn, and he'll be bringing home his final 25 yards of this 200-yard freestyle Heat 1. And there's Withers touching with a time of 256.79. Get a quick look at the First National Bank and Trust scoreboard. See those times once again. Swimmers for Heat 2 now getting their blocks set. Swimming in Heat 2 in Lane 2 for Minot, Junior Garth Shanklin. For Minot in Lane 3 is Junior Trevor Ricks. In Lane 4 is freshman Matt Bowen. From Minot. In Lane 5 is Williston's 8th grader Hunter Haugen. In Lane 6 is Minot's freshman Micah Beers. And in Lane 7 is Minot sophomore Justin Moldenauer. There's your whistle for Heat 2 of the 200-yard freestyle. Heat 2 of the 200-yard freestyle is in the pool. In Lane 2 is Minot's Garth Shanklin. Lane 3 is Minot's Trevor Ricks. Lane 4 is Minot's Matt Bowen. Lane 5 is Williston's Hunter Haugen. Lane 6 is Minot's Micah Beers. And Lane 7 is Minot's Justin Moldenauer. Bowen in Lane 4 with a slight lead over Trevor Ricks. They'll be coming in and finishing up this first 50 yards. That's Bowen touching in 28.55, followed by Ricks in 29.02. Then it's Haugen of Williston in 30.95. Then we have Beers of Minot 32.03. Shanklin of Minot 32.36. And Moldenauer of Minot in 35.10. Bowen continues with a slight lead at the next turn. About a half body length at this point. They're coming up on the halfway point. That is Matt Bowen. His older brother Josh swam in that medley relay you just watched. Matt touches in 1 minute, 0.7 seconds, followed by Ricks in 101.35. Then it's Haugen of Wilson in 105.19. Then it's Beers of Minot 108.68. Shanklin of Minot 109.26. And Moldenauer of Minot in 115.9. Almost a body length lead now for Matt Bowen as he finishes up this third section of the 200-yard freestyle, Heat 2. Bowen makes the turn with a split of 33.81 for a time of 134.51, followed by Ricks at 135.94. Then it's Haugen of Williston at 140.19. Then it was Beers at 147.46 and Shanklin at 147.84. Matt Bowen is finishing up this Heat 2 of the 200-yard freestyle. Coming in at a time of 2:07.31 for young Matt Bowen, followed by Trevor Ricks at 2:09.86. Then it's Hunter Haugen at 2:12.87. We've got out in lane 6, Micah Beers finishing up. He'll be touching with a time of 2:23.52. Then in lane 2, it's Garth Shanklin at 2:26.13. We'll have Justin Moldenauer finishing up out in lane 7. Off the distance, you can see some diving. Competition has started. Here's Moldenauer. He's now touching in 2:36.83. Here's a look at your times for Heat 2 of the 200-yard freestyle relay. Excuse me, the 200-yard freestyle. Moving on to Heat 3, in lane 2 will be Minot's sophomore, Caden Dodds. In lane 3 is Minot sophomore, Alex Prestwich. Lane 4 is Minot senior, Tyler Hills. Lane 5, Minot junior, Alex Moe. Lane 6, Minot junior, Peyton Barch. And in lane 7, Minot senior, Dominic Yoder. All right, right, heat 3 of the 200-yard freestyle is on the starting blocks. This 200-yard freestyle is brought to you by Subway of Minot. Heat 3 is in the pool. Lane 2, it's Caden Dodds of Minot. Lane 3, Alex Prestwich of Minot. Lane 4, Tyler Hills of Minot. Lane 5, Alex Moe of Minot. Lane 6, Peyton Barch of Minot. And Lane 7, Dominic Yoder. At the halfway point, we've got Yoder leading in 27.3. Do not adjust your TV sets. I'm not sure how far you can see out the lane 7, but Dominic is swimming the backstroke for this. The 200-yard backstroke is not a high school event. I'm sure Dominic is probably trying to maybe get some times for this race for his recruiting efforts going forward. We'll see how he holds up after 100 yards. He's at 57.59. Then we have Alex Moe at 59.6, Peyton Barch at 1 minute 0.27 seconds. Then it's Caden Dodds at 101.45, Alex Prestwich at 101.58, and Tyler Hills at 102.02. Yoder continues to power through the backstroke out in lane 7. Alex Moe holding strong in lane 5. He has 50 yards to go. Then it's Peyton Barch touching. That was Moe at 132.17. Then it's Peyton Barch at 133.88. Then we have Prestwich at 134.85. Then Hills at 135.09. And Dodds at 135.33. Dominic is swimming this as an exhibition event. Actually, all these swimmers in this heat are exhibition swimmers. Dominic will be touching first with the 200-yard backstroke of 2:01.80. He'll be followed by Alex Moe at 2:03.86 with the freestyle. Peyton Barch at 2:06.91. Alex Prestwich at 2:07.87. Tyler Hills 2:08.11 and Caden Dodds at 2:08.74. Here's a look at your First International Bank and Trust scoreboard for Heat 3 of the 200-yard freestyle. State qualifying time for this event is 2:05.76. Congratulations to Alex Moe with his time of 2:03.96. Puts him on the state qualifiers list. Heat 4. And final heat of the 200-yard freestyle. In lane 2 for Minot, junior Kalen Hill. In lane 3, his younger brother, 8th grader Logan Hill. In lane 4 is Levi Von Bokern of Minot. In lane 5 is sophomore from Williston, Colden Kringen. In lane 6 is Williston's Caleb Osborne. In lane 7 is Williston's Adam March. Look for some strong swims out of Kringen and Von Bokern in this heat, along with Logan and Kalen Hill. Kringen has about a body length lead right now as we approach the halfway point for this Heat 4 of the 200-yard freestyle. That's Levi Von Bokern of Minot in lane 4. Kringen will touch with a time at the halfway point of 54.05. Then it's Von Bokern at 55.77, followed by Logan Hill at 58.82. Then it's Kalen Hill at 1 minute 0.98 seconds. We have Caleb Osborne at 101.90 and Adam March at 102.69. Kringen has extended his lead to almost 2 body lengths over Von Bokern at this point. He's coming in. He'll have 50 yards to go after this touch with a split of 28.99 for 3/4 of the way through at 123.04, followed by Von Bokern with a 30.09 third split. He's at 125.86, followed by Logan Hill at 131.07, Kalen Hill at 134 flat. Then it is Adam March at 136.19 and Caleb Osborne at 137.97. Kringen finishing up this 200-yard freestyle. He will be touching with a time of 151.86 seconds, followed by Von Bokern of Minot at 155.12. Then we will have Logan Hill touching. His time did not register. We got a 2:05.07. That might be a little slow. Kalen Hill then touching at 2:05.48, followed by Adam March in 2:07.81 and Caleb Osborne at 2:12.76. Here's a look at the First International Bank and Trust scoreboard for the fourth and final heat of the 200-yard freestyle. Once again, we have Kringen of Williston at 1:51.88, Von Bokern of Minot at 1:55.12. Logan Hill of Minot at 2:02.16, Kalen Hill of Minot at 2:05.48. Those are all state qualifying times. And we have Adam March at 2:07.81 and Caleb Osborne at 2:12.76. On the blocks and ready to start is Heat 1 of the 200-yard individual medley. This will be our only heat of the 200-yard individual medley. In lane 3 for Minot is senior Kellen Anderson. In lane 4 is Alex King of Minot. In lane 5 is Williston's Tyler Jorgensen. In lane 6 is Williston's Briar Gilbertson. King powering through the butterfly of this first leg of the individual medley. He'll be turning into now the backstroke with a time of 27:04 for that first split. Then it's Jorgensen of Williston at 29:40, Gilbertson of Williston at 30.36. Then we've got Kellen Anderson. He also sang the national anthem tonight. He was at 38:87. King now touching after the backstroke, moving into the breaststroke at the halfway point. He's at 1 minute, 0.67 seconds, followed by Jorgensen of Williston at 1:03.52. Then it'll be Gilbertson of Williston at 1:09.74. There's Alex coming up on the halfway point of his breaststroke, making his turn for this third section of the individual medley. King finishes up the breaststroke leg. He's at 1:38.86. Now he's into his freestyle. Finishing up his breaststroke in lane 5 was Jorgensen of Williston at 1:48.97. King is making his final turn and is on his way home for this 200-yard individual medley. We had Gilbertson in lane 5 at 1:55.18 at the 3/4 mark. There's Alex King touching with a final time of 2:08.83. State qualifying for this event is 2:23.97. Very nice swim for Alex King. Touching in second place here will be Jorgensen of Williston at 2:21.29, followed by Gilbertson. He'll be coming in those low 2:30s. Touching in 2:30.62 seconds. Kellen Anderson finishing up here in lane 3. There you can see Kellen. Kellen touching with a time of 2 minutes 55.27 seconds. Here's a look at the scoreboard. Once again, Alex King at 2:08.83. Then it was Jorgensen of Williston 2:21.29. Then Gilbertson of Williston 2:30.62. You hear the whistle. On the block is Heat 1 of the 50-yard freestyle. We will have 4 heats of the 50-yard freestyle today. Heat 1, Lane 2, Minot's David McConville. Lane 3, Minot's Jacob Height. Lane 4, Minot's Luke Peterson. Lane 5 is Maroney Hale of Minot. Lane 6, Logan Greenlee of Minot. In Lane 7, Ryder Bjerknes of Williston. Got a nice evenly matched race here. Looks like we're going to have them touch. It will be Bjerknes out in lane 7 for Williston at 31.04, followed by Maroney Hale of Minot at 31.11. Then it's Luke Peterson at 31.26, Jacob Height at 32.43. Then it was Logan Greenlee at 32.83, and David McConville at 42.43 seconds. Here's a quick look. These 50s go pretty quickly. They'll have them up on the block. There you hear the whistle. There's your look at the scoreboard for Heat 1 of the 50-yard freestyle. Heat 2 is on the block. We'll get those names once they're in the pool. They'll be in lanes 2 through 7. Heat 2 of the 50-yard freestyle is in the pool. Lane 2 for Minot, Breyer Samuelson. Lane 3 for Minot, Lawson Shanklin. Lane 4 for Minot, Gannon Cowper. Lane 5 from Minot, Brandon Shabbat. Lane 6 for Minot is Alex Ricks. And lane 7 for Minot is Tyler Sherlock. Looks like Cowper has about a half body length lead right now over both Shabbat and Shanklin. Cowper coming in for the 50-yard freestyle, Heat 2 in 27.73 seconds. Then it was Shabbat at 28.67, Shanklin at 28.83, Alex Ricks at 29.21, Breyer Samuelson at 30.56, and Tyler Sherlock at 30.59. A quick look at the scoreboard for that second heat of the 50-yard free. Third heat on the blocks. In lane 2 for Minot is Carter Thomas. In lane 3 is Carter Larson. In lane 4 is Will Thomas. Lane 5 is Ryan Hubbard. Lane 6 is Tristan Lays. And lane 7 from Wilson, Reese Holder. Looks like we got lane 6. Tristan Lays with a little bit of a lead. They'll be coming in for this third heat, and it is Ryan Hubbard, of Minot, in 24.58, followed by Tristan Lays in 25.07. Then it's Carter Larson of 25.12, Will Thomas at 25.4, Carter Thomas at 26.62, and Reese Holder of Wilson in 27.49. Heat 4 is on the blocks. There's a quick look at the scores, or at the times for Heat 3. It's Heat 4, the 50-yard freestyle. In lane 1, Oliver Rungan of Minot. Lane 3, Josh Bone of Minot. Lane 4, Grant Schaefer of Minot. Lane 5, Camden Ekblad Lundby of Williston. Lane 6, Isaiah Shug of Williston. And lane 7, Ethan Babcock of Williston. That's Grant Schaefer in lane 4 with a body length lead as he comes in on this 50-yard freestyle. He will touch with a time of 22.48 seconds. Followed by Josh Bowen at 24.16, a tie with Josh and Oliver Rungan also at 24.16. Then we have Ekblad Lundy of Williston at 25.23, Isaiah Shug at 26.49, and finally Ethan Babcock at 26.04. There's your First International Bank and Trust scoreboard with the times of the final heat of the 50-yard freestyle. That looks to be a season best for Schaefer. He had a 22.68 time coming in. So a nice cut of 0.2 seconds in the 50-yard freestyle. We'll now move on to the diving competition. We'll go through the diving competition, then we'll go back to the swimming with the butterfly once diving continues. That was Jaron Coombs of Minot. We just have four Minot divers and 2 Williston divers. Now getting up on the far board, I believe that's Aiden Stewart. We'll see if we can't pick up some volume off of the field mic to hear the announcements. Six and a half, 6, and a 6 for Aiden on that last dive. Up next on this inside board will be Cody Kranz of Minot. Here's Cody's approach. Here's Cody's dive. Same dive looks like that Aiden just did. Let's see what Cody's scores come out to. We've got a 5.5, 5.5, and a 6.5 for Cody. Next up on the boards will be Williston's Sean Allen. There's Allen's dive. Next up on the boards is Minot's Ty Ross. There's Ty's dive. Let's see what kind of scores he gets. I missed the scores for Sean Allen. I apologize. Looks like Ty has a 4.5, a 3.5, and a 4.5. Next up on the board for Williston is Matthew Cobb. This might be Jaron Coombs from Minot. I believe that is Jaron. Matthew may not be diving with us today. Jaron gets a 6.5, a 7, and a 7. Very well executed dive for Jaron Coombs. Now Aiden Stewart approaching the board. That was Cody Kranz on the dive. I missed Aiden's scores as well. I apologize. Cody has a 4.5, a 4.5, and a 3.5. That was Sean Allen. Coming up on the board is Ty Ross. Ty is a freshman from Minot. Nice looking dive. A 7, a 6.5, and a 7 for Ty. Next up in the diving competition is Minot's Jaron Coombs. Seven, 6.5, 7 for Jaron on that dive. Looks like that will conclude the diving competition for today. There will be, I believe, a 10-minute warm-up session in the pool. This will give me a chance to hit the Magi Swim Twitter page, get some results up. Once again, thank you everybody for joining on the PSP network for tonight's live stream broadcast. I'd like to thank Kudoba of Minot's Finest Collision Center, 28 Tastes and Taps, the Beaupre Law Firm, Clean Tech, and Century Eyewear for their sponsorship of tonight's event, along with First Western Bank and Trust, Arbo Photography, the UPS Store, First International Bank and Trust, Height Construction, and Premier Movement. Premier Chiropractic is focused on improving the health of the Minot and surrounding areas through the most cutting-edge advances in natural health care today. Dr. Kirk Mason combines several techniques to decrease pain and improve function, and Dr. Becky Perry-Dalmries focuses on treating pediatrics and prenatal. You can visit premierchiropracticnd.com for more information. The UPS Store is located on South Broadway in Minot. It is open Monday through Saturday. The UPS Store for all your packing and shipping needs. 28 Tastes and Taps is now open. If you're hungry, you'll leave satisfied. Guaranteed. A unique menu that guarantees to have your mouth watering. They're open 7 days a week and located on South 16th Street. That's 28 Tastes and Taps, a family restaurant that is locally owned. To get COVID-19 deep cleaning services for your home or business, call Clean Tech. This proactive deep cleaning service includes disinfecting and sanitizing. And don't forget about Clean Tech's 24/7 disaster response and restoration services. You can visit them online at cleantechllc.us. That's Clean Tech, coming to the rescue since 1992. You heard the whistle. On the blocks, we have the 100-yard butterfly, heat 1 of 2. This is Heat 1 of the 100-yard butterfly. Lane 2 is Garth Shanklin of Minot. Lane 3 is Matt Bowen of Minot. Lane 4 is Lawson Shanklin of Minot. Lane 5 is Carter Lawson of Minot. And Lane 6 is Chance Thompson of Minot. We got Carter Larson out in lane 5 with a slight lead over teammates Lawson Shanklin and Carter Larson. Or excuse me, Matt Bowen is in lane 3. These Carters, Lawsons, and Larsons sometimes provide tongue twisters for me. At the last turn, we have Carter Lawson with about a half body length over both Matt Bowen and Lawson Shanklin. Then we have Chance Thompson out in lane 6 and Garth Shanklin in lane 2. Coming in, Matt Bowen with a little bit of surge in lane 3. Let's see how they finish up. It will be Matt Bowen with a time of 106.43, followed by Carter Larson at 106.45. Then it's Lawson Shanklin at 107.24, Garth Shanklin at 112.97, and Chance Thompson at 115.88. There's a look at your first International Bank and Trust scoreboard with the times from Heat 1 of the 100-yard butterfly. State qualifying time for this event is 1 minute 3.52 seconds. This is Heat 2 of the 100-yard butterfly. In lane 2 for Minot is Tristan Lays. Lane 3 for Minot, Oliver Rungan. Lane 4 for Minot, Jackson Ranke. Lane 5 is Colden Kringen of Williston. And lane 6 is Williston's Tater Jones. At the first turn, it will be Rungan, Kringen, and Ranke side by side in lanes 3, 4, and 5. Rungan with a slight lead now as we come in to this halfway point. Very close race. We'll have Kringen touching at 26.52 and Rungan touching at 26.84, followed by Ranke at 26.91. Then it's Lays at 27.95 and Jones in lane 6 and 29.70. Kringen will make the final touch first, followed by Rungan and Ranke, and they will bring this 100-yard butterfly home. That is Colden Kringen in lane 5, about a half body length. He will touch with a time of 56.45 seconds, followed by Jackson Ranke of Minot in 57.45 seconds. Then it's Oliver Rungan of Minot in 58.16 seconds. Tristan Lays at 101.12. Those are all state qualifying times in this 100-yard butterfly. And in lane 5 was Tater Jones, just missing out on that qualifying time with a time of 107.02. There's your first International Bank and Trust scoreboard. Look at the times for that Heat 2 of the 100-yard butterfly. Next event will be the 100-yard freestyle. We will have 4 heats of the 100-yard freestyle. There will be 4 contestants in the first heat. State qualifying time for the freestyle 100-yard variety is 57.01 seconds. Taking a couple minutes here to get this next event going. Give you a look around the pool. Looks like some divers are over there getting ready to do some practicing with the harness. Got a nice socially distanced crowd of parents here at the pool. Okay, here we go. This is Heat 1 of the 100-yard freestyle. Looks like we have 2 competitors. In lane 3 from Minot, it will be Carter Withers. In lane 6 from Minot, it will be David McConville. These 2 young men are both freshmen from Minot High. That's Withers in lane 3. Touching with a halfway split of 39.27 seconds. McConville out in lane 6. Time did not register on his turn. Finishing up heat 1 of the 100-yard freestyle. In lane 3 for Minot is Carter Withers. He'll be touching with a time of 1 minute, 20.83 seconds. And then there's a little bit closer look at Mr. McConville. In case any of his family's watching, there he is. There's David finishing up with the time. Still not registering. Going to be about, oh, there it is, 139.95 seconds. We'll now move to heat 2 of the 100-yard freestyle. This is heat 2 of the 100-yard freestyle. In lane 2 for Minot is Micah Beers. In lane 3 for Williston is Isaiah Shug. In lane 4 for Minot is Andrew Swartout. In lane 5 for Minot is Tyler Hills. In lane 6 for Minot is Trevor Ricks. In lane 7 for Minot is Jamison Donahoe. Leaving at this halfway point, it'll be Andrew Swartout in lane 4. Doing some work on the lane ropes there between lanes 3 and 4, looks like. It's rare to see that happen mid-race, but maybe save us some time later on. We've still got Swartout leading. Then we've got out in lane 6, looks to be Tyler Hills. In lane 5 is, lane 6 is Trevor Ricks, lane 5 is Tyler Hills, and in lane 3 is Isaiah Shug. So in this second heat of the 100-yard freestyle, we have Andrew Swartout of Minot at 55.63. Followed by Trevor Ricks at 57.67. Then it's Isaiah Shug at 58.43. Tyler Hills at 58.57. Micah Beers at 102.23. And Jamison Donahoe at 102.99. Once again, state qualifying time is 57.01 seconds. So we've got Andrew Swartout with state qualifying time. Congratulations to Andrew. Next up will be heat 3, the 100-yard freestyle. In lane 2 for Minot is Alex Moe. In lane 3 for Minot is Kalen Hill. In lane 4 for Minot is Griffin Osborne. Lane 5 for Minot is Alex Prestwich. Lane 6 for Minot, Will Thomas. And lane 7 for Minot is Caden Dodds. Coach Solper doing some maintenance on that lane rope that came loose during the last race. As most high school coaches in this area know, you're not only a coach, but you're also sometimes the maintenance man, the chauffeur, and many other roles they play. So this is heat 3, the 100-yard freestyle. Once again, lane 2 is Alex Moe, lane 3, Kalen Hill, lane 4, Griffin Osborne, lane 5, Alex Prestwich, lane 6, Will Thomas, and lane 7, Caden Dodds. Those are all Minot swimmers. Got about a half body length lead out in lane 4. That is Griffin Osborne, followed by Alex Prestwich and Kalen Hill. That'll be Osborne touching at 25.55, followed by Prestwich at 26.35. Then it's Will Thomas at 26.69. Caden Dodds at 26.71. Kalen Hill at 28.92. And Alex Moe at 27.09. Very tightly contested race here. See, those times are all very similar. Osborne continues to lead. Prestwich is cutting into that a little bit, but it will be touching at the wall. Griffin Osborne at 54.58, followed by Alex Prestwich at 55.09. Then it is Will Thomas at 55.62. Caitlin Hill at 56.07. Kaden Dodds at 56.73. Alex Moe just ahead of that at 56.16. Those are all state qualifying times for those Minot swimmers. Here is your fourth and final heat of the 100-yard freestyle. In lane 2 for Minot is Peyton Barch. In lane 3 for Minot is Levi Von Boker. In lane 4 for Minot is Grant Schaefer. Lane 5 for Williston is Tyler Jorgensen. Lane 6 for Williston is Camden Ekblad Lundy. And lane 7 for Williston is Reese Holder. Coming up on the halfway point, we've got Schaefer with just under a body length lead over Barch in lane 2, followed by Von Boker in lane 3. That's Schaefer touching with a split of 23.45 seconds, followed by Barch at 25.14. Then is Von Boker at 25.17. Jorgensen at 25.82. Ekblad Lundy at 25.97, and Holder at 29.29. Making his final turn and his stretch for home is Grant Schaefer in lane 4 for the Magi. That will be Schaefer touching with a 100 freestyle time of 49.11 seconds, followed by Von Boker of Minot at 52.34. Then it is Jorgensen of Williston at 53.28, followed by Barch of Minot at 53.40. And then it's Ekblad Lundby at 54.98. And Reese Holder at 101.67. There's your first International Bank and Trust scoreboard for the 100-yard freestyle. That's Grant Schaefer leading the way with a season best time for him at 49.11 seconds. We've got the Williston diver getting some practice in off the boards, working with Minot's coach Barb McPeak. Minot does have a harness system here at their pool for the divers, so they can practice some things that they may not be able to in midair without that harness. So we've taken advantage of that opportunity. That's nice to see. On the blocks is our one and only heat of the 500-yard freestyle. Those swimmers are in the pool. They'll have 20 laps. Heat 1 from Minot is Jacob Height. Heat 2 from Minot is Josh Bowen. Lane 4 of Minot is Alex King. Then it's Hunter Haugen of Williston in lane 5, Hunter Hart of Williston in lane 6, and Tater Jones of Williston in lane 7. We've got King and Bowen coming through this first 50 yards. That's King touching in 27.27, and right next to him at 27.34 is Bowen. Tater Jones in 30.44 out in lane 7, followed by Haugen and 30.93, and Hart in 31.18. Height was 37.95. We will have Bowen and King swimming stroke for quite a while here, I believe. You can see those swimmers in lanes 3 and 4. That's Bowen closer to you. Once again, lane 1 is at the bottom of your screen, and lane 8 is at the top. King with a 100-yard time of 58.18. Bowen at 58.78. King and Bowen continue swimming side by side, just under a half body length lead there for King. They're splitting a 31.79 for King and a 31.87 for Bowen. They'll hold those in that 31 to 32 and a half range. Through the first 200 yards, it is Alex King at 2:01.74, followed by Josh Bowen at 2:02.96. Then looks like we will have Jacob Height. Excuse me, that will be Hunter Haugen at 2:19.69, Tater Jones at 2:20.53, and Hunter Hart at 2:23.81. King just over body length lead over Bowen now. They split of 31.82 for that 50 yards. Bowen's 50-yard split there is 32.70. King is at 2:33.56. Bowen at 2:35.66. This is the halfway point for Alex King. Still splitting under 32 seconds. He's at 3 minutes 5.54, followed by Josh Bowen at 3 minutes 8.87 seconds. King starting to show his endurance a little bit. Almost a 3 body length lead now. He will continue to power through this 500-yard freestyle. Still splitting under 32 seconds for Alex. He's at 3:37.20. Bowen at 3:42.47. King with just 3 laps to go. Continues some sub-32 splits. Next turn for Alex will be the bell lap for him. He'll be down and back one more time. There you can hear the cowbell. Alex at 4:39.36 with 50 yards to go. This could be a nice time for Alex in the 5:10 range maybe. There's Alex King finishing up the 500-yard freestyle with a time of 5 minutes 8.32 seconds. Very nice swim for Alex King. Final split of 28.96. Josh Bowen finishing up his 500-yard freestyle with a time of 5:21.44. Very respectable time there for Josh. His final split at 32.1 seconds. See, Alex really can turn it on in that last 50 yards. In their last 2 laps is Hunter Haugen of Williston at 5:25.23. Then it's Hunter Hart at 5:35.46. Tater Jones at 5:34.81. So now here in lane 5, we've got Hunter Haugen finishing up his 500-yard freestyle. He's going to be very close to that state qualifying time of, finishes at 5:58.92. State qualifying for this race is 5:43.41, Now we've got Tater Jones touching with a time of 6:09.21, followed closely by Hunter Hart at 6:09.78. Down in lane 2, we will have Jacob Height finishing up his 500-yard freestyle. His rewards for singing tonight's national anthem are swimming the 2 longest races. So, that was Kellen Anderson that sang tonight. So this is Jacob Height, another senior on the team. He's got 50 yards to go. You'll hear the crowd really rooting Jacob on to finish this last 50 yards. Both his teammates and the Williston team will be rooting him in for this final stretch as he comes in. All right, I was mistaken. Jacob has another 50 yards to go. Now you'll hear them fire up and help him get home. There's Jacob Height finishing up this 500-yard freestyle. Members of both teams and people in the stands. There he is. All right, here's your First International Bank and Trust scoreboard for the 500-yard freestyle. We had Alex King at 5:08.32, followed by Josh Bowen at 5:21.44. Then it was Hunter Haugen of Williston at 5:58.92. Then Tater Jones of Williston at 6:09.21, and Hunter Hart of Williston at 6:09.78. And then crowd favorite Jacob Height at 8 minutes 19.00 seconds. Wonderful job by all the swimmers there. Moving on, we'll be moving on to the 200-yard freestyle relay. We will have 2 heats of this relay. Each swimmer swimming 50 yards. In Heat 1 will be Magicians F, Logan Greenlee, Carter Withers, David McConville, and Maroney Hale. In Lane 4 is Magicians D, Matt Bowen, Tyler Hills, Micah Beers, and Carter Thomas. In Lane 5 is Magicians E, Garth Shanklin, Chance Thompson, Tyler Sherlock, and Kellen Anderson. Just getting my seniors confused earlier. That's Kellen was singing the national anthem earlier today, and he did swim the 200-yard freestyle. In the pool, the first leg of the 200-yard freestyle relay. That's Logan Greenlee in lane 3, Matt Bowen in lane 4, and Garth Shanklin in lane 5. Got quite a few sets of brothers on this team. We just saw Josh Bowen in the 500 freestyle. Now his younger brother Matt swimming in this relay. Now entering the pool in lane 4 for Minot is Tyler Hills. In lane 3 is Carter Withers, and lane 5 is Chance Thompson. Waiting on the blocks to enter the pool in lane 4 is Micah Beers. There goes Micah into the pool. Waiting out in lane 5 looks to be Tyler Sherlock. He has a brother Brian on the team as well, as we talked about brothers earlier. Now in lane 3, that's David McConville entering the pool. In lane 4, finishing up his leg of this relay is Micah Beers. Entering the pool in lane 4 for Minot will be Carter Thomas. There goes Carter. Entering the pool for Minot in lane 5 will be Kellen Anderson. We've got McConville in lane 3 finishing up his leg of the race. Also finishing up their leg of the race in lane 4 is Carter Thomas. He will be touching with a team time of 1:48.81. There goes Maroney Hale for his leg of this 200-yard freestyle. Touching out in lane 5 just shortly here will be Kellen Anderson with a team time of 1:58.58. Maroney Hale now finishing up his 50 of this 200-yard freestyle relay. Maroney will be touching. You'll see his time come up on the board for that team. Once again, Minot D at 1:48.81. Then it's Minot E at 1:58.53 and Minot F at 2:21.52. Members of that relay team D were Matt Bowen, Tyler Hills, Micah Beers, and Carter Thomas. We now move on to heat 2 of this 200-yard freestyle relay. In lane 2, Magicians C, Caden Dodds, Tristan Lays, Trevor Ricks, and Alex Moe. Lane 3, Magicians B, Andrew Swartout, Ryan Hubbard, Carter Larson, and Alex Prestwich. Lane 4 is Minot A, Peyton Barch, Kalen Hill, Levi Von Bokern, and Dominic Yoder. Lane 6 is Wilson A, Tyler Jorgensen, Ethan Babcock, Camden Ekblad Lundby, and Colden Kringen. Lane 6, Wilson B, Reese Holder, Nathan Hill, Hunter Hart, and Isaiah Shug. Now in the pool is heat 2, the 200-yard freestyle relay. Leading the way from Minot in lane 4 is Peyton Barch. Once again, lane 2 is Caden Dodds, lane 3 Andrew Swartout, lane 4 Peyton Barch, lane 5 Tyler Jorgensen, and lane 6 Reese Holder. Now entering the pool in lane 4 for the Magicians is Kalen Hill. In the pool in lane 5 for the Coyotes is Ethan Babcock. In lane 3 for the Magicians is Ryan Hubbard. Lane 6 for the Coyotes is Nathan Hill, and lane 2 for the Magicians is Tristan Lays. Kalen Hill finishing up the second leg of this 200-yard freestyle relay. Now entering the pool for the Magicians in lane 4 is sophomore Levi Von Bokern. Followed in lane 2 by 8th grader from Minot, Carter Thomas, and lane 5 from Williston. Excuse me. Yes, lane 5 from Williston is another 8th grader, Camden Ekblad Lundby. Swimming out in lane 6 for Wilson is Hunter Hart, and lane 2 for Minot is Trevor Ricks. Making the final exchange from the Magicians now in the pool in lane 4 is senior Dominic Yoder. For the Coyotes in lane 5 it is Colden Kringen, and for the Magicians in lane 3 it's Alex Prestwich. In lane 2 for the Magicians it is Alex Moe, and lane 6 for the Coyotes it's Isaiah Shug. Yoder finishes up here for Minot's A, touching with a team time of 1:34.47, a 22.6 split for Dominic, followed by Williston, Team A at 1:38.35, Kringen split of 23.46. Then it was Minot B at 1:39.69. Final split time for the Magicians, Alex Moe, was 24.74. Here's a look at your First International Bank and Trust scoreboard for those times of the 200-yard freestyle relay. Next event is the 100-yard backstroke. It will be followed by the 100-yard breaststroke, and then our final event of the day, the 400-yard freestyle relay. We will have 3 heats of the backstroke. In heat 1 will be lane 3, Minot's Luke Peterson, lane 4 is Minot's Alex Ricks, and lane 5 is Wilson's Ryder Bjerknes. Those heat 1 swimmers will be entering the pool. This is heat 1 of 3 for the 100-yard backstroke. In lane 3 for Minot is Luke Peterson, and lane 4 for Minot is Alex Ricks, and lane 5 for Williston is Ryder Bjerknes. That's Alex Ricks continuing to lead in this first heat of the 100-yard backstroke. Followed by Bjerknes of Williston and Luke Peterson of Minot. Finishing up heat 1 of the 100-yard backstroke is Minot's Alex Ricks with a time of, looks like we didn't, oh, there it is. We did not get a time registered for Alex. Looks like Ryder Bjerknes of Wilson at 1:33.20. Luke Peterson of Minot 134.99. Rick's time now is 129.51. There's a look at your First International Bank and Trust scoreboard for the times from Heat 1 of the 100-yard breaststroke. Rick's followed by Bjerknes and then Peterson. This is Heat 2 of the 100-yard backstroke. In lane 3 for Minot is Brandon Shabbat. In lane 4 from Minot is Briar Samuelson. In lane 5 for Minot is Brian Sherlock. And in lane 6 for Minot is Justin Moldenauer. Looks like we have a scratch in lane 3 of Brandon Shabbat, so we've got Briar Samuelson leading the way, coming up on the halfway point, followed by Brian Sherlock, and then we do have 4 swimmers out there. My eyes are deceiving me. My glasses aren't even fogged up. In any case, that's Shabbat in lane 2, Samuelson in lane 3. Shabbat in lane 3, Samuelson in 4, Sherlock in 5, and Moldenauer in 6. Coming in, we've got Shabbat and Samuelson turning, making that final turn at the same time. Very close coming in here for the final of the second heat of the 100-yard backstroke. They are stroke for stroke as they come in. Looks like it may be Samuelson just out touching Shabbat at 120.44. Shabbat at 120.79. Then it's Sherlock at 123.55. That is Brian Sherlock at 123.55. And finally, Justin Moldenauer at 133.40. Here's a quick look at the times for that heat. And then we'll be moving on to Heat 3. Heat 3 will have Gannon Cowper of Minot in lane 2, Jackson Ranke of Minot in lane 3, Dominic Yoder of Minot in lane 4, Caleb Osborne of Williston in lane 5, Adam March of Williston in lane 6, and finally Williston's Nathan Hill in lane 7. State qualifying time in this 100-yard backstroke is 1:06.50. Pool record for this event is 52.92 seconds, set by Gerald Brown in 2017. That year he also set the state and school records of 51.16 seconds. This is your third and final heat of the 100-yard backstroke. Lane 2, Minot's Gannon Cowper. Lane 3, Minot's Ranke. Lane 4 is Minot's Yoder. Lane 5, Williston's Osborne. Lane 6, Williston's March. And Lane 7, Williston's Hill. Yoder with the body length lead right now over Ranke as they come up to the halfway point. Yoder with a halfway time of 27.54, followed by Jackson Ranke at 29.02. Then it's Caleb Osborne at 31.48, Gannon Cowper at 33.41, Adam March at 33.64, and Nathan Hill at 36.31. Yoder has made his final turn and is on the last 25 yards of this 100-yard backstroke. Dominic is finishing up. He will have a time of 55.76 seconds, followed by Jackson Ranke at 59.49. Then we will have Caleb Osborne at 104.36. Those are all three state qualifying times. Then it was Adam March at 108.28. Gannon Cowper at 110.04. And Nathan Hill at 113.58. Here's your look at the First International Bank and Trust scoreboard for those times of that final heat of the 100-yard backstroke. You heard the whistle. We'll let these backstrokers get out of the pool. Then we will have the heat 1 of 2 for the 100-yard breaststroke. In this event, in lane 2 will be Minot's Maroney Hale. Lane 3, Minot's Jamison Donahoe. Lane 4, Minot's Carter Thomas. Lane 5, Minot's Andrew Swartout. And lane 6 is Minot's Kellen Anderson. See, the swimmers are in the pool. Once again, lane 2 is at the bottom. Lane 1 would be at the bottom, and lane 8 is at the top. In this heat, our lowest lane swimmer is Maroney Hale in lane 2. In lane 3, that's Jamison Donahoe. In lane 4 is Carter Thomas. Lane 5 is Andrew Swartout. In lane 6 is Kellen Anderson. Carter Thomas will be touching in the lead at the halfway point at 37.32 seconds, followed by Jamison Donahoe at 37.84. Then it's Andrew Swartout at 38.09. We have Kellen Anderson at 40.30 and Maroney Hale at 40.72. State qualifying time for this event is 1 minute, 11.98 seconds. Carter Thomas finishing up the 100-yard breaststroke, heat 1, in a time of 1:18.29, followed by Andrew Swartout at 1:19.95. Then it's Jamison Donahoe at 1:23.16. We have Kellen Anderson at 1:26.01 and Maroney Hale at 1:29.16. There's a look at the times from that heat 1. Moving on, we'll be going to heat 2. In lane 2 will be Minot's Ryan Hubbard. In lane 3 will be Minot's Griffin Osborne. In lane 4 is Minot's Logan Hill. In lane 5, Williston's Hunter Hart. In lane 6, Williston's Ethan Babcock. In lane 7 is Williston's Bryson Gilbertson. Heat 2 is in the pool. Hubbard in 2, Osborne in 3, and Hill in 4 for Minot. For Williston, it's Hart in 5, Babcock in 6, and Gilbertson in lane 7. We've got Griffin Osborne and Logan Hill stroke for stroke coming in at this halfway point, followed very closely by Ryan Hubbard in lane 2. It's like we had Griffin Osborne at 31.84, followed by Logan Hill at 32.39. Then it was Hubbard at 32.64. Then we have Hart at 35.10, Babcock 36.36, and Gilbertson 37.1. Making the turn at roughly the same time, just a slight lead for Hill in lane 4. It's Hill in 4, Osborne in 3, and Hubbard in 2. Finishing up here, we will have, looks like, Logan Hill at 107.75, followed by Griffin Osborne at 108.12. Then it's Ryan Hubbard at 109.61. Those are all state qualifying times for those three Minot swimmers. Then it will be Hunter Hart at 115.96, Ethan Babcock at 116.22, and finally Gilbertson, Bryson Gilbertson at 120.74. That was just an announcement from Assistant Coach Ken Disher, reminding the folks of the COVID-19 protocols for spectators for tomorrow morning's meet. Once again, Minot will be hosting the Legacy High Sabres of Bismarck, the Bismarck High Demons, and the Braves of Mandan, I believe. This will bring us to our final event of the day. We will have two heats of the boys 400-yard freestyle relay. In Heat 1, Lane 2 is Magicians H. That's Alex Ricks, Carter Withers, Jacob Height, and Luke Peterson. In Lane 3 will be Magicians F. Lawson Shanklin, Brandon Shabbat, Chance Thompson, and Jamison Donahoe. In Lane 4 is Magicians D, Caden Dodds, Tyler Hills, Matt Bowen, and Alex Moe. In Lane 5 is Magicians E, Trevor Ricks, Garth Shanklin, Micah Beers, and Gannon Cowper. And Lane 6 is Magicians G, Justin Moldenauer, Briar Samuelson, Brian Sherlock, and Kellen Anderson. Each swimmer will swim 100 yards. This is the 400-yard freestyle relay, Heat 1. All Minot teams in this heat. Now in the pool, in Lane 2 is Alex Ricks, Lane 3 is Lawson Shanklin, Lane 4 is Caden Dodds, Lane 5 is Trevor Ricks, and Lane 6 is Justin Moldenauer. It's like we've got Dodds and Ricks making that first turn, followed closely by Lawson Shanklin. 4 laps here for this each 100-yard leg of this 400-yard freestyle relay. Nice split for Dodds. That was a 26.99 split for Dodds in Lane 4. Dodds now on his last 25-yard section, or his first leg of this 400-yard freestyle relay. Entering the pool for the Magicians, Lane 4 will be Tyler Hills. Then for the Magicians in Lane 5 will be Garth Shanklin. Then for the Magicians in Lane 3 will be Brandon Shabbat. Those 3 second swimmers are in the pool. Now entering the pool for the Magicians out in Lane 6 is Briar Samuelson. And in Lane 2 is Carter Withers. Halfway point through his leg, out in Lane 4 is Tyler Hills. Nice 28.39 split for Tyler. He's followed by Minot's Garth Shanklin out in Lane 5. Then it's Brandon Shabbat in Lane 3. Then it's Lane 6 for Minot is Briar Samuelson, and in Lane 2 for Minot is Carter Withers. Finishing up the second leg in Lane 4 is Tyler Hills, making the exchange. That now is Matt Bowen into the pool for the Magicians in Lane 4. Into the pool for the Magicians in Lane 5 is Micah Beers, and Lane 3 is Chance Thompson. Now entering the pool for Minot out in Lane 6 is Brian Sherlock. Making the exchange here in Lane 2 for the Magicians will be Jacob Height entering the pool. Matthew Bowen finishing up this third leg of the 400-yard freestyle relay in Lane 4. Making the exchange, entering the pool for the Magicians in Lane 4 will be Alex Moe. There goes Alex. Thank some more sponsors. For tonight's meet, we have Height Construction sponsoring today's meet, along with Subway, Tires Plus, Morelli's Distributing, Qdoba, Minot's Finest Collision Center, Beaupre Law Firm, Clean Tech, and Premier Chiropractic. And 2 banks. We have First Western Bank and Trust helping sponsor tonight's event, along with First International Bank and Trust. All right, all the final swimmers are in the pool. In Lane 2, it is Luke Peterson. In Lane 3, it's Jamison Donahoe. Once again, Alex Moe is in Lane 4. In Lane 5 is Gannon Cowper. In Lane 6 is Kellen Anderson. Mo is finishing up in lane 4 with a team time of 3 minutes, 53.96 seconds. Next team to finish up will be in lane 5. That is Gannon Cowper. The final leg for that relay team in lane 5. Gannon will make this final touch, and that team will have a team time of 4 minutes, 20.53 seconds. Then we'll have lane 3 touching next. That is swimmer Jamison Donahoe. Jamison touches for a team time of 4:28.43, followed closely in lane 2 by Luke Peterson. That team's time of 4:32.29 seconds. And then finally out in lane 6, we had Kellen Anderson touching with a team time of 4:38.87. That finishes up Heat 1 of the 400-yard freestyle relay. Here's a quick look at those team times. Final race of the day, boys 400-yard freestyle relay. In lane 2, Magician C, Kalen Hill, Alex Presswich, Griffin Osborne, and Logan Hill. In lane 3, Magicians B, Levi Von Bokern, Oliver Rungen, Peyton Barch, and Jackson Ranke. Lane 4, Magicians A, Dominic Yoder, Alex King, Josh Bowen, and Grant Schaefer. Lane 5 is Wilson A, Tyler Jorgensen, Caleb Osborne, Camden Ekblad Lundby, and Colden Kringen. And lane 6 for Wilson is Tater Jones, Hunter Haugen, Adam March, and Isaiah Shug. Pool record for this event is 1:29.75 seconds, set in 2000 by a team from Minot. Matthew Lowe, Brock Harstead, and my eyes are deceiving me, I can't read the small print. The school record for Minot is 1:27.33, set in 2014. Final heat. Stepping up onto the blocks. And lane 2 for Minot will be Kalen Hill. And lane 3 for Minot will be Levi Von Bokern. And lane 4 for Minot is Dominic Yoder. Lane 5 for Williston is Tyler Jorgensen. And lane 6 for Williston is Tater Jones. Swimmers are in the pool. Very nice start for Mr. Yoder in lane 4. Followed very closely by Jorgensen in lane 5 and Von Bokern in lane 3. Yoder continues to lead, about a body length lead over Von Bokern in lane 2, who is just about an elbow's length lead over Jorgensen in lane 5. Yoder finishing up his section of this 400-yard freestyle relay. Now entering the pool for the Magicians in lane 4 is Alex King. Entering the pool for the Magicians in lane 3 is Oliver Rungen, and for the Coyotes in lane 5 is Caleb Osborne. Down to the pool from lane 2 for the Magicians is Alex Presswich, and for Williston out in lane 6 is Hunter Haugen. King with a 23.84 first split, that first 50 of his section of this relay. Continues to turn through, followed by Rungen in lane 3 of Minot, and then out in lane 5 from Williston it is Caleb Osborne. Then in lane 2 for Minot is Oliver Rungen. King finishing up here, he'll be making the touch into the pool for the Magicians. Down lane 4 is Josh Bowen. Magicians are at 1:41.43, followed by Minot's B at 1:46.06. Swimming in lane 3 for the Magicians right now is Peyton Barch. Lane 5 for the Coyotes is Camden Ekblad Lundby. Bowen is at his halfway point through his leg of this race. In the pool for the Magicians in lane 2 is Griffin Osborne, and for the Coyotes in lane 6 is Adam March. 25 yards left to go for Bowen. Getting set on the blocks for this final exchange is Magician Grant Schaefer. Here comes Bowen. Here's your touch, and Schaefer enters the pool. They're at 2:32.36. Final leg in the pool in lane 3 for the Magicians is Jackson Ranke. Lane 5 for the Coyotes is Colden Kring, and Schaefer at his halfway point with a split of 22.74 seconds for that first 50. Continues to glide through the water here. Also in the pool in lane 2 for the Magicians now is Logan Hill, and for the Coyotes in lane 6 is Isaiah Shug. Here comes Schaefer finishing up this 400-yard freestyle relay for the Magicians in lane 4. He will touch with a team time of 3:21.42 seconds. Very nice relay time for those 4 young men. We followed in lane 3 for the Magicians Team B, touching with a time of 3:36.92. Then it's Williston at 3:39.70. You gonna go home and watch the relay, Ryan? You gonna go home and watch the replay?
I'll watch the replay.
You gonna go home and watch the replay on YouTube? Being joined here by Ryan Bowen, dad of Matthew and Josh. All the teams finish up. All the teams have finished up that final relay. Here's a look at the final times for that relay. We had Minot A at 3:21.42, then Minot B at 3:36.92, Williston A at 3:39.70, Minot C at 3:50.75, and Williston B at 4:05.42. That concludes our Williston at Minot duel taking place this Friday evening. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in for tonight's live stream broadcast on the PSP.network, whether you're with us through the computer feed or on the YouTube feed. Don't forget to join us tomorrow morning. Diving starts at 10:30 a.m. We will be on the air in that 10:15 to 10:25 range. Once again, thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful evening, and we will see you in the morning.
To come. Eric, what time is tomorrow?
Swimming starts at 11.
Okay. Because no one seems to really know. The boys.
As far as I know, as far as what I read on the schedule was diving at 10:30 and swimming at 11.
Okay.
That's what I thought too. You look like you're a elite fisherman.
It's getting close to time to cutting it off.